The F-16 fighter jet is one of the world's most advanced and versatile combat aircraft. It's fast, agile, and extremely powerful. But it's not just about speed and firepower. The F-16 is also a precision weapon, capable of dropping terrifyingly accurate bombs on targets. In this video, we'll take you inside the cockpit of the F-16 to see how it's able to deliver devastating results. We'll also explore the circumstances that led to its recent mission, including the target and the strategic goals of the operation. Maybe, by the end of this video, you'll have a greater appreciation for the awesome power and precision of the F-16 and a better understanding of the role it plays in modern warfare. First, this is all you need to know about the F-16 fighter jet. The F-16 fighter jets became possible through an unusual agreement and collaboration between the United States and 4 NATO nations: Belgium, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Norway initially. 3 48 F-16s were jointly manufactured by these countries and the United States, with final airframe assembly lines situated in Belgium and the Netherlands. The consortium's F-16s are the result of component contributions from all 5 participating countries, and Belgium handles the final assembly of the F-100 engine used in the European F-16s. Notably, Portugal has also recently joined this consortium. This program's enduring advantages include technology transfer among the participating nations and the provision of a standardized aircraft for NATO members. Moreover, it has enhanced the supply of repair parts in Europe and bolstered the combat readiness of the F-16. In 1991, US Air Force F-16 multi-role fighters were deployed to the Persian Gulf to support Operation Desert Storm, where they executed more sorties than any other aircraft. Their mission encompassed striking airfields, military production facilities, Scud missile sites, and various other targets. During Operation Allied Force, US Air Force F-16 multi-role fighters undertook diverse missions, such as suppressing enemy air defenses, conducting offensive and defensive counter-air operations, providing close air support, and serving as forward air controllers. The results were exceptional, with these fighters successfully neutralizing radar sites, vehicles, tanks, MiGs, and buildings. Since September 11, 2001, the F-16 has played a pivotal role in the combat forces dedicated to the war on terrorism, carrying out thousands of sorties in support of operations like Noble Eagle, Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan, and Iraqi Freedom. The F-16 is the epitome of aerial prowess and has redefined air combat capability boundaries. Its unparalleled maneuverability and exceptional combat radius surpass that of any potential threat fighter aircraft. The F-16 is a formidable force in the skies, capable of not only locating targets under any weather conditions, but also detecting low-flying aircraft amidst radar ground clutter. Its versatility extends beyond air-to-air combat, as it can seamlessly transition into an air-to-surface role. In this capacity, it boasts a range of over 500 miles, 860 kilometers, enabling it to strike with unparalleled accuracy, defend itself against hostile aircraft, and make a triumphant return to its starting point. The F-16's all-weather capability is a game-changer, allowing it to deliver ordnance with precision even in non-visual bombing conditions. In the genesis of the F-16's design, a reasonable fusion of advanced aerospace science and battle-tested systems from other aircraft, notably the F-15 and F-111, was undertaken. This fusion of technologies was a strategic move aimed at streamlining the aircraft, reducing its size, minimizing acquisition costs, cutting down on maintenance expenses, and curbing overall weight. The F-16 achieves the remarkable feat of maintaining its structural integrity despite being lightweight. Laden with a full load of internal fuel, it exhibits the remarkable capacity to endure forces of up to 9 Gs, which far surpasses the capabilities of other contemporary fighter aircraft. The pilot's domain within the F-16 is nothing short of awe-inspiring. The cockpit offers unobstructed views both forward and upward, thus enhancing situational awareness. Vision to the sides and rear has been dramatically improved, elevating the pilot's ability to keep tabs on the surroundings. Notably, the seatback angle has been increased from the conventional 13 degrees to a much more comfortable 30 degrees, a modification that enhances pilot comfort and augments the tolerance to gravitational forces. The F-16's flight control is unparalleled, courtesy of its fly-by-wire system, where electrical wires serve as the means for relaying commands, supplanting the conventional cables and linkage controls. This technology is a pivotal asset during high G-force combat maneuvers, facilitated by a side-stick controller, which is a stark departure from the traditional center-mounted stick. Manipulating the side-stick controller with precise hand pressure sends electrical signals to the actuators of flight control surfaces, including ailerons and rudder. The F-16's suite of avionics systems is nothing short of state-of-the-art. A standout feature is the highly accurate Enhanced Global Positioning and Inertial Navigation System, where sophisticated computers provide the pilot with essential steering information. The aircraft is equipped with ultra-high frequency and very high frequency, ensuring seamless communication. In a world full of electronic threats, the F-16 doesn't flinch. It comes prepared with a warning system and modular countermeasure pods, adept at thwarting both airborne and surface-based electronic threats. The fuselage's clever design includes provisions for accommodating additional avionics systems, ensuring adaptability for evolving combat scenarios. When an F-16 drops a bomb, several critical steps and procedures are executed to ensure the aircraft's safety and the mission's success. The process of dropping a bomb from an F-16 begins with meticulous planning. Military commanders and pilots collaborate to determine the target, the type of bomb required, and the flight path. They also consider factors such as weather conditions, enemy threats, and collateral damage concerns. Once in the air and approaching the designated target, the pilot and weapons officer work closely to prepare for the bomb release. The bomb is armed, and the aircraft systems are configured to ensure a smooth release. Precision is paramount, as any deviation from the planned trajectory could have disastrous consequences. As the F-16 reaches the release point, the pilot initiates the drop sequence. The bomb is released from the aircraft's payload bay, and a series of onboard computers calculate the optimal moment for release to ensure that the bomb reaches its intended target. The F-16 rapidly climbs or maneuvers to create a safe distance from the impending explosion. The bomb descends towards the target with remarkable speed and precision. Depending on the type of bomb, it may release guidance systems, fins, or parachutes to control its trajectory and accuracy. Laser-guided bombs can even be adjusted mid-flight to hit moving targets. This occurred some weeks ago when an F-16 was deployed in a mission to eliminate a high-value enemy target. The pilot and weapons officer executed their training and planning flawlessly. The bomb was released accurately, striking the intended target with devastating precision. At this point, you're probably itching to hear who was the target. The event took place somewhere in the skies over northeastern Syria. This event is even more remarkable because it involves two NATO allies, the United States and Turkey, who are already embroiled in a series of security disputes. The incident transpired on the morning of October 5th, with Turkey conducting airstrikes in Syria and Iraq, targeting Kurdish groups it alleged were connected to a bombing outside the Turkish Interior Ministry in Ankara on October 1st. To de-escalate the situation, top U.S. officials, namely Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Air Force General Charles Q. Brown, Jr., engaged in discussions with their Turkish counterparts. It's crucial to note that approximately 900 U.S. troops are stationed in Syria, collaborating with the Syrian Democratic Forces, DF, which is primarily Kurdish-led in the fight against the Islamic State group. The SDF strongly denied any involvement in the Ankara bombing. Around 7:30 a.m. local time on October 5th, US forces observed drones carrying out airstrikes in Hasaka, Syria. These airstrikes even occurred within an area designated as a US Restricted Operating Zone, as disclosed by Pentagon Press Secretary Air Force Brig General Patrick S. Ryder during a press briefing. In a particularly tense moment, some Turkish airstrikes on that day came within about 1 kilometer of US forces. According to information provided by the Pentagon, this proximity led to American troops seeking refuge in bunkers. As the situation continued to unfold, around 11:30 a.m., a Turkish drone re-entered the area, heading toward US forces. US officials reported that when the drone came within roughly half a kilometer of American troops, a US F-16 fighter jet fired an air-to-air missile, which successfully downed the Turkish drone. Ryder explained, "We did communicate with Turkey our inherent right to self-defense in the face of a potential threat. Commanders on the ground assessed that there was a potential threat and took appropriate action." After the incident, Austin urged de-escalation in northern Syria and the importance of maintaining strict adherence to deconfliction protocols and communication through established military-to-military channels, according to a readout of the call from the Pentagon. "It's a regrettable incident," Ryder admitted. "There was no harm done to US forces. Based on the situation on the ground, we took necessary action. Officials in the United States say they do not believe Turkey was attempting to deliberately target American forces. The Turkish embassy in Washington did not return a request for comment either. We will continue to keep those lines of communication open to hopefully prevent these types of incidents," Ryder said in a statement. The sad thing is that this incident occurred at a crucial time as the US seeks Turkey's help to secure Sweden's accession to NATO, pursue diplomacy over Ukraine, and deal with terrorist threats. The Ankara bombing has been blamed on the Kurdistan Workers' Party, a group that Turkey and the United States consider a terrorist organization. Turkey also believes the US-backed Syrian Democratic Forces are tied to the PKK, which the SDF denies. But Turkey is insisting that the perpetrators of the bombing crossed through SDF-controlled territory to carry out their operations. Debunking this assertion, Mazloum Abdi, the head of the Syrian Democratic Forces, said, "The perpetrators of the Ankara attack did not pass through our region as Turkish officials claimed. We are not a party to the civil conflict in Turkey, and we do not encourage the escalation of this conflict. You see, the rivalry between Turkey and Syria is a complex geopolitical issue that has evolved over the years, shaped by historical, political, and regional factors. This rivalry has seen various phases of escalation and de-escalation. The roots of this rivalry can be traced back to the end of World War I, when the Ottoman Empire, which encompassed modern-day Turkey and parts of Syria, collapsed. The war's aftermath resulted in the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire and the emergence of modern nation-states. The borders drawn during this period laid the foundation for many territorial disputes and ethnic divisions in the region. One major point of contention has been the issue of the Hatay province, which was part of French Mandate Syria, but later became part of Turkey in 1939 through a referendum. This annexation by Turkey created early tensions between the two nations as Syria continued to claim Hatay as its territory. Another critical factor in the escalation of the Turkey-Syria rivalry is the complex ethnic and religious composition of the region. Syria is home to various ethnic and religious groups, including Arabs, Kurds, and Christians, while Turkey has a significant Kurdish population. This has led to competing interests and allegiances as both countries aim to protect the rights and interests of their ethnic and religious minorities. The Arab-Israeli conflict and the Cold War also significantly shaped the dynamics of the Turkey-Syria rivalry. During the Cold War, Turkey aligned itself with the Western Bloc and became a NATO member, while Syria gravitated towards the Soviet Union. This ideological divide deepened the mistrust between the two countries, as they were seen as proxies of the superpowers. The escalation of tensions between Turkey and Syria took a more contemporary turn during the Syrian civil war, which began in 2011. Turkey supported various rebel groups in Syria, while Syria, under President Bashar al-Assad, accused Turkey of aiding Islamist extremist factions. This direct involvement in the Syrian conflict deepened the hostility between the two nations. One of the most critical events in recent years that escalated the rivalry was the Syrian military's downing of a Turkish fighter jet in 2012. Turkey claimed that the jet had briefly entered Syrian airspace, while Syria contended that it had been in its territorial waters. This incident led to a significant deterioration in diplomatic relations between the two countries. The Syrian conflict also directly impacted Turkey's security situation as it faced threats from Kurdish militias in northern Syria, particularly the YPG, which Turkey viewed as an extension of the outlawed PKK. Turkey's military operations in northern Syria aimed at countering these Kurdish groups further strained relations with the Syrian government. In addition to these factors, the rise of non-state actors, such as ISIS, in the region complicated the rivalry. Turkey and Syria were forced to confront the threat posed by ISIS, but their approaches differed significantly. Turkey was accused of turning a blind eye to the flow of foreign fighters and smuggling across its border with Syria, further straining its relationship with Syria and its Western allies. For some time, the United States has played a significant role in the Syrian conflict, primarily through its support for various factions within the country. This involvement has had far-reaching implications, not only for the conflict itself, but also for regional dynamics, particularly with regard to Turkey's position in the region. One of the key ways in which the US has supported Syria is by providing military assistance to select rebel groups fighting against the Syrian government. This support was part of the broader strategy to weaken the Bashar al-Assad regime and to bring about a political transition. The US provided arms, training, and other forms of support to rebel groups, particularly in the early years of the conflict. This support was intended to bolster the opposition's capabilities and maintain pressure on the Syrian government. However, the complex web of rebel groups made it challenging to ensure that support didn't fall into the wrong hands, and some of the groups that received US support were later linked to extremist elements. In addition to supporting rebel groups, the US has played a crucial role in the fight against the Islamic State, ISIS, in Syria. The US-led coalition conducted extensive air and ground operations to push back ISIS and eventually defeat the group's territorial caliphate. This was a critical aspect of the US's engagement in Syria, and it helped to stabilize parts of the country and prevent the further spread of extremist ideology. Another aspect of US support for Syria is the provision of humanitarian aid. The conflict has resulted in a devastating humanitarian crisis, with millions of Syrians displaced and seeking assistance. The US has been one of the largest contributors of humanitarian aid to Syria, providing food, medical supplies, and other forms of support to those affected by the conflict. This assistance has been instrumental in alleviating some of the suffering caused by the conflict. While the US claims that its involvement in Syria is driven by the desire to address the Syrian crisis and combat extremist groups, it has significant implications for the broader regional dynamics. Notably, US support for Kurdish forces in northern Syria, particularly the Syrian Democratic Forces, SDF, has led to tensions with Turkey. The SDF played a pivotal role in the fight against ISIS, and their partnership with the US was a strategic necessity. However, Turkey isn't comfortable with it. It views some elements within the SDF, particularly the People's Protection Units, YPG, as an extension of the Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK. This situation has created a delicate balance for the United States, as it sought to maintain relations with Turkey and the SDF. The US has attempted to assuage Turkish concerns by emphasizing that its support for the SDF is focused on the fight against ISIS and not aimed at supporting Kurdish aspirations for an independent state. Nevertheless, Turkey has remained deeply wary of the situation, fearing that the empowerment of Kurdish groups in Syria could have repercussions for its Kurdish population and potentially lead to the creation of an autonomous Kurdish entity on its southern border. Amidst this, the US-Turkey relationship has only faced further strains with the recent bombing in the skies of northeastern Syria. The bombing of Turkish drones by a US F-16 fighter jet raises several complex geopolitical implications and could impact the relationship between the two nations. Turkey is a NATO ally, and actions that target its assets can lead to questions about alliance cohesion and trust. In addition, the political reactions within both countries could be significant. In the US, there might be debates over the appropriateness of such actions against a NATO ally. In Turkey, it may lead to nationalist sentiments and calls for a more independent foreign policy. It may have wider implications for regional stability, especially in the Middle East. Turkey is a key player in various regional conflicts, including its involvement in Syria and Libya. The incident could exacerbate existing tensions. Given such incidents' complexities and potential consequences, nations need to prioritize open and effective diplomatic channels to address disputes and misunderstandings. How can nations enhance their diplomatic efforts and maintain strong alliances while addressing security concerns in a rapidly changing world? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to encourage us with your likes, and also subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that. Thanks for watching.